Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Empoleon from Pokemon. So let's start with the face. We're going to start with the beak area. So in the middle here, we're going to draw a point. From this point, I'm going to curve out to the bottom edge of the outside of the mask, on the left and on the right. Now from both sides, we're going to curve up to the top of the sides of the mask, or the crown. So from here, I'm going to curve all the way up to about this height, like so. And on the right side, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to tilt it a little bit, just so we can give some perspective and angle to the face. So you've got those two lines. Now from the ends here, we're going to we're going to angle these two lines in and down. We're going to go back down in the opposite direction with a short line. Now from here, we're going to curve down to right about here. So I always use my fingers to sort of gauge how far I want to go with a line. So right about there. Now from here we're going to go in towards the center, but we're going to leave a little gap. So with a straight line, draw a straight line in towards the middle. Now this is where the center piece is going to go straight up to the top. So right here, where my thumb is, I'm going to draw a curved line going up on either side, left and right. And at the top here, we're going to draw a diamond. So on the ends, we're going to angle two lines going straight out, and then going in towards the middle. Now that we have that, let's get into the eyes. So the eyes are essentially just a curve. So up here, and curve down on one side, and curve on the right. Now let's draw some pupils. So I'm going to have it looking this way. So at the top here, we're going to leave a little gap here. I'm going to draw sort of like an oval, a bottom half an oval. And on the right side, we'll do the same thing. On the top here, you can draw a little half circle highlight, just like so. Now let's get up to the top here. Along the edge here, we're going to do a little bit of detail. So from the side here, we're going to go up, go down, and then back up, and tuck that in underneath this middle piece. And we'll do the opposite on the right side, just like so. Okay, now let's get into the collar piece. So the collar is going to converge to a center point right just below this point here. So I'm going to put a dot here. It's going to go all the way up to the side. So I just want to have a big collar going up to the side. So here, I'm just going to go along the edge right beside the mask on the left, and on the right I want to make sure I get up to about the same height. So curving up just like that. Let's draw the bottom part of the beak. So right here on this corner, I pull a line down and curve it underneath the front there. Now let's get into the top of the head. So it's basically the top curve of the head right about here. So I'm going to have to go in behind these little prongs. So start on the side here, going behind, start to curve and round out the top of the head. Just like that. Now, if I want to give a little perspective, I just want to draw the inner edge of the back side of this collar. So right here, I'm just going to tuck this in behind like that. And we can do the same thing on the left. Just pull that in just like so. Let's draw the outer edge of the collar. That comes down to right about here. So this side, I'm going to start to pan out. As you can see, it gets a little bit wider as it gets down to the bottom here. Now we're going to get into the wing area. So the wings are quite long. I kind of use my fingers again to sort of gauge how long I want it. So on the left side, we're going to start here. So right about there, that's where I want the tip. I'm going to do a big curve from here, the tip of the wing, all the way up to that collar point. Now I'm going to bring this inner part of the wing up like this. So it's kind of like a little spear, but halfway through it, I'm going to have to interrupt and draw a little spike there. So starting at this point, and curve in like this. So I'm imagining this line going all the way through like this, but here I'm going to draw a little point. And then I'm going to continue this line up just like that, and just let it fade out just like so. Now from this point, I'm going to pull a line out in towards the wing and back in, but I'm going to stop and leave a little gap here. So I'm going to pull along and follow that contour of that outer part of the wing. And right about here is where I'm going to switch directions, just pull that in the back. So we got that one wing. Now we're going to get into the body before we get into the back wing, because the body gets drawn on top of the back wing. So here, I want the belly to be quite big, kind of like a pear shape. And so the bottom of the feet, actually the body sort of works its way into the ankles of the character. So from this point, I'm going to curve out the front of the belly and then curve back in towards my finger. On this side here, I want the back side to be quite big as well. So from here, I'm going to curve in towards my finger. Okay, so there's the shape of the body. Let's get into the wing before we get into the rest of the body. So let's draw the top edge of the wing. But again, like I did here, we're going to see that little diamond shape inside that wing. So from here, right where this collar meets the body, I'm going to draw a curve all the way to the tip of the wing. But along the way, I'm going to stop right about there and draw a little half diamond and pull this back down again. So trying to get roughly the same length of the wings on both left and right side. From here, I'm going to curve in and tuck this in underneath the body there. And from this point, I'm going to again draw the other side of that diamond. And here I'm going to follow that contour of the outer part of the wing, leaving a gap here. Now here I'm going to go all the way along the bottom, just following that same line. Now to give that diamond a little bit of shape, I'm just going to draw little lines that kind of come in from the corners on both sides like so. Okay, now let's get into that center collar detail that comes down towards the lower torso. So right about here is where the lower torso is, and this is where the legs start to begin. So right here in the middle, I'm going to take this point and curve all the way down to my finger. So here coming in, curving with a smooth line right to about there. Now, I'm going to draw the center piece. From the center here, I'm going to follow along and just go towards my finger, but I'm going to stop here because there's a little spike that sticks out. So from this point, I'm going to go out with a straight line, and then this is going to connect here with a curve, just like that. Let's sharpen that off a little bit. Now from this point, I'm going to curve in the opposite direction, like this, and start to come in, but I'm going to follow along as I get closer, just like that. From here, I'm going to follow along that front line, and then just connect it right to the tip there. Okay, now that we have that, let's get into that little body detail in the center. So on either side, right about here, I'm going to draw two lines that come straight out. From here, I'm going to angle two lines coming in. Now it kind of spreads out right about here. So from this point, I'm going to curve out to the outer part of the detail on left and right sides. From here, I'm going to curve up and in. Now there's three little circles that go all the way in a sort of like a pattern right to about here. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to probably make this one a little bit bigger just to fit it all in there. And here I'm going to go 1, 2. You probably won't see the third one because it gets tucked in behind that part there. And inside these little curves, I'm just going to draw tiny little circles. A little bit of detail in there, here as well, and there. Okay, so we got the upper part of the body. Let's get into the legs. Now from this point, we're going to curve in towards the ankle. So you can see where I stopped here on the outside of the ankle. I'm going to take this point and curve towards the inner part. Over here, same thing. I want to leave that space and I want to make it sort of consistent. So from this point, I'll probably just go straight into the ankle like that. And along the bottom, there's some ankle fur. So I want to connect this point to this point while I'm doing these little fur details. So I'm going to curve like this. I'm going to do this all the way around the bottom. Just fit as many as I want along the bottom there. I'll do the same on the right side. So just doing these little curves all the way along. It doesn't matter if you follow this exact same number that I have, as long as it fits. That's totally fine. Okay, so now that we got that, let's get into the feet. So that I'm going to have one foot facing this way and this foot facing this way. So an easy way to do this is see this point here. I'm going to come down and just draw a curve to the back of the heel. And then I'm going to draw a straight line to the first toe. So the angled line, take this point and I'm going to curve up. Let's go up here a little bit and do an overlap. And come out a little bit and then curve up. Again, one last time. We've got 3 toes, curve out. Now this one's going to go right up into that ankle like so. Let's do the exact same thing on the right side but flipped over. So again, following this point here, coming down and drawing the back of the heel. I'm going to draw an angled line to the front of the toe. Again, I want to make sure that this line is the same length as here. Take this point and curve up. Go up a little bit for an overlap. Pull the line out. Here I'm going to curve up and in. Do one more overlap for the third final toe. Come in like so. Now the final little bit, we're going to draw a little tail. So a little indication of a tail right about here. So I'm going to curve a line out. And this is going to go straight in behind the body like that. And I think there's a little disc or something in the back here, so I'm just going to do a little hint of it, just a little curve in the back like that. And that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Empoleon from Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like. Check out our Pokemon playlist. I have a ton of characters in there. I'll be adding more Pokemon characters every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.